Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, this is Boisterous coming to you with some Diamond League destruction out of the Shattered Temple. As my computer struggles with a small amount of lag, I would like to present you with SalmoN, the red Protoss over in the left-hand corner, and his opponent EpicGamertag, spawning in as the blue Protoss on the opposite side of the map, the right side. Both of these players are spawning in, and why is my computer lagging? I do not know. It's not hitting how many frames per second I want. There we go. Alright, we have both of these players just spawning in and creating their probes. Nothing surprising coming out from either one. No cannon rushes, nothing like that. We have SalmoN going for the pylon, in the average position for PvP. Actually, both of them going for it in the average position. EpicGamertag is actually out slightly further, and I think his probe is going to be the faster scout. He did get it out there slightly faster than the red Protoss. We have both of their pylons finishing up. We're going to have SalmoN just sending a probe out in preparation. And it looks like his gateway is going to be slightly faster, but nothing significant so far. We have chrono boosts actually going down for both players as the chrono boost gets dropped down for SalmoN. So both of them are playing fairly clean and just average PvPs with that first chrono boost going down fairly soon after the first pylon wraps up. On their own Nexus, we have EpicGamertag dropping a second chrono boost onto his Nexus, going for a heavy economic build, and actually there goes SalmoN too. So both of them are basically playing mirror builds, except for the fact that EpicGamertag has seemingly skipped over the small amount, small thing of gas, and that's kind of not the smartest thing to do, I don't think. In a PvP especially, gas is a fairly important thing, because if your opponent's coming at you with something like an aggressive 4-gate or anything like that, then you want to have sentries out to be able to force field your ramp to try to shut them off, especially on a map like Shattered Temple, where it's like so easy to where it's so hard to regain this bottom portion of your base once you've already lost it to your opponent. And actually we have a significant blunder by EpicGamertag, I feel. Is having his cybernetics core about a full 20 seconds late. That is not good. That is half of a production cycle. However, his probe is doing the Herculean effort, which I think is going to go awry fairly soon, of actually taking out the shields of this pylon, and it's going to get out of there. Man, that was one annoying probe. It was just, just wailing away on this pylon, and actually managed to do 50 points of hull damage to it. Fairly impressive. We have the Zealot just running around the base, making sure that there's no proxy buildings or any silliness like that. But his cybernetics core is actually not researching Warp Gate, so he is quite behind. His Warp Gate is almost a full minute behind his opponents. And he's not going to have any chrono boost to spend on it. I don't think his opponent's going to be spending chrono boost on it. Actually, he might. He just hit 50 chrono boost, and there is the first chrono boost to go down on the red Protoss's Warp Gate. But this is a full 2. That is a full 2 unit warp-in cycles already lost. And EpicGamertag might be extremely susceptible to a break. He's actually going for a Forge now, which is definitely the correct decision here, because we do have the proxy pylon building up for SalmoN. SalmoN definitely looks like he wants to be aggressive, so this Forge might just be his saving grace if he can get a couple of cannons down and get a nice force field with this sentry. I feel like that's really what he's going to need. He does manage to scout the pylon, and that is quite important for him. He really needed to make sure that that pylon didn't get up, and it looks like he's going to, well, the pylon's still going to be there, but at least it's known that it's there, and that's the really important part for our blue Protoss, as he is dropping down his 2 photon cannons right now, and I feel like this is going to be an extremely easy to hold off rush, despite how dangerous it is, just because, actually, I feel like there's a slight blunder by SalmoN. I mean, these weren't warped into warp gates for around 10 to 20 seconds after the research was finished, considering the fact that I do not believe EpicGamertag has spent any chrono boost onto this cybernetics core. And as my computer lags a bit again, EpicGamertag is preparing to hold off this rush, and there is the beautiful sentry force field, trapping off 2 of the stalkers, just absolutely demolishing, any hope of Red Protoss forcing his way up. That was actually quite well done and fairly dangerous. That yeah, that was just a beautiful hold, getting down these photon cannons just in time, and yeah, nice execution there by EpicGamertag. We have SalmoN getting actually on time on the robotics facility, so finally EpicGamertag has managed to catch up as far as tech goes. His robotics facility is actually going to finish slightly earlier than his opponents. Plus, the fact that he already has this forge up and running on upgrades is going to give him a significant lead going into the mid game. After holding off such a huge rush like that, that was quite a beautiful hold, and it was really the hold that he needed. And SalmoN is going to actually get supply blocked here, so he's not going to be able to get any Immortal out, I don't think. Because he's actually going to get supply blocked again, and this pylon is going to, get there right in time, but it's definitely annoying, and he just basically lost 200 minerals in the form of the pylons that were at the front. I still don't think he needed to warp it. I don't think he needed to warp in a second one up here. That was a decision by him that I disagree with. He should have sensed after that first pylon was scouted that, there was probably going to be quite a bit of defense there. And his units got to the first one in time where the second one didn't need to be warped in. I mean, if the first one did get destroyed, then I could have completely seen, warping in the second one and going for the attack anyway. However, since it wasn't destroyed, the second one was kind of just a waste, really. We have the first Immortal coming up for SalmoN, as he is getting his Colossus range upgrades started. I'm surprised that he's not just saving up for a Colossus, because the price between Colossus and Immortal doesn't take that long to get. He is chrono boosting out that Immortal. The Immortal is actually already done for EpicGamertag, and he has started his Colossus. The only issue is that he hasn't started range yet. That's definitely something he's going to want to start as soon as possible, because range Colossus versus non-range Colossus is a fairly heavy beating for the ranged Colossus. Even if the superior upgrades go to the non-ranged Colossus as far as weapons and armor. And we do have his plus range, I think it's +2 range, technically, as far as numbers go. And we have his finally his third gateway is coming down. This is a fairly late third gateway, and he has an assimilator down here. Not sure why this assimilator is here, considering the fact that there is no Nexus spawning. And his Colossus is actually going to be done impressively faster than his opponent's first Colossus, despite the fact that his extended thermal lance research is going to be quite a bit behind. I think he's going to have extended thermal lance done just about the same time that his opponent has his first Colossus out. So there's really no difference in the speed of which these Colossus can benefit from their buffs. We have EpicGamertag finally dropping down his Nexus after he has both of his assimilators already taken out as natural. And that's interesting. Not really good. It's definitely not good, but it's not awful at the same time. Assimilators aren't that big of a money sink. They're only 75 minerals a pop, so it's just 75 wasted minerals essentially. And we have SalmoN's expansion beautifully timed, with both of his assimilators finishing at the exact time that he needs them to finish. One of them is actually only getting mined by 2 right now, and I hope he manages to fix that, because that's kind of a mistake. Actually, both of them are only getting mined by 2, so this might be deliberate. It's surprising that this is deliberate, but I think this might just be deliberate. We do have the second Colossus coming down. Was there a third Colossus? I thought there was. Oh well. We have EpicGamertag just sitting there with his robotics facility, getting his +1 armor out, so his army is going to be 1-1, which gives him a significant lead over his opponent's force, who doesn't, I think, even have a forge down yet, which is one of the more important structures in a PvP, to be quite perfectly honest. That forge is something that you really need to get out. And actually, what is this? He is going for the increased movement speed of warp prisms. So I think we're going to be seeing some Colossus drop play in this game, which is definitely interesting. Colossus drop play is something that is not used that often, especially since the buff that took place that causes your warp prisms to be much tankier. It gave them a bonus 50 shield health, which is a significant amount of health in this game. So I think that it's going to be much more used, plus the fact that this gravitic drive makes them insanely fast. And the fact that they have, yeah, see, I think it's on par with the speed of almost the Phoenix, to be honest. And yeah, these are now, you know, insanely fast units if you get that gravitic drives. And actually, is he going for shields? He is going for shields. He is Protoss shields level 1 on the way. Definitely interesting. However, I'm just gonna go back to following this warp prism because it's nice and cute. It looks like the red Protoss is clearing up for his third expansion and getting that Nexus down. However, I don't know, it really depends on how much damage this Colossus can do and how fast his reaction time is. This Colossus is going to get 2 probe kills, 3 probe kills, 4. Alright, so he has 4 probe kills on that Colossus so far. He might snag a couple hits on it, on the Warp Prism, but that's going to heal up quite nicely. And, 1 kill. So only 1 kill in that second part. So I think that brings him to a total of 5 workers killed. 8? I think he might have killed some more workers earlier in the game, because I did not see that Colossus kill 8 workers in either portion of that. Is he gonna snipe this? Nah, he's not. Alright, I think he's going to go for this defenseless probe and its little pylon buddy. And actually, he does manage to snipe a stalker that's warping in, and that's definitely a nice pickup. So this Colossus has already been essentially cost effective. It's been quite well done by the blue player. Yeah, this is really well done. We have a Stargate on the way, so he is preparing to switch his tech up. He doesn't want to he doesn't want to get into this kind of like Colossus versus Colossus war, especially with the third coming up from his opponent. Because in a Colossus versus Colossus war, the person with more Colossuses almost always wins. And considering the fact that this is dual robo production off of 3 bases, it's not something he wants to be in. And actually, 9 kills, 10 kills, 11. This is quite well done. He's actually going to he could have gotten that stalker, I feel. So that Colossus is up to 11 workers killed, which is really nicely done by this Warp Prism harass. That is well worth the cost of the Colossus and the Warp Prism combined, just killing off those 11 probes, especially because it just puts your opponent on edge so much, where he's, you know, is that going to be coming in? It acts almost like Mutalisks in the ZVP matchup, where it forces your opponent to be in his base. He doesn't really want to move out because, you know, this Colossus can just pop in anywhere and just do so much damage, and it's just continuing to show that again and again. As you know, I don't think these basically stalkers would need to take it down in 1 shot, especially with the pattern with which he's flying it, which is over like this ridge line. Stalkers get 1 shot at it right here, maybe 2 if they had blink and they could blink down, but he doesn't have blink yet, so it's really just 1 shot. And stalkers just can't take out warp prisms in 1 shot, and that's really the awful part. And we have a mothership on the way by EpicGamertag, so he's really just going for sealing the win on this game. Even though his harassment has done that for him already, essentially. With this Colossus going up to 15 kills, he should have stayed for the beam. I think he's microing on this Warp Prism dropship. He could use a bit of work, but honestly, it's fairly impressive as it is. It looks like this Warp Prism is going to continue and just run right for the third, where 2 stalkers are actually waiting for it. However, they're not able to shoot up that cliff. And a couple of stalkers do manage to get pot shots off on it, and it looks like this Warp Prism is essentially pinned at this point, but it doesn't matter. The fact that this warp ship is pinned, or this warp ship is pinned in his base, just means that his opponent's army isn't moving out, and that's really what he wants. Well, he gets his mothership out and ready to go, because with a mothership out, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with, and he's chrono boosting a supply blocked carrier. So, not everybody can be a flawless player. Oh, God. yeah, the mothership is going to be popping out in a couple seconds. And this was really a beautiful play. We had this Colossus again just torturing his opponent's mineral line as it works on. Just gets the stalker and pulls out definitely what he wants to be doing right now, sniping little tiny extra things off. And it looks like this army does have the mothership just barely spawning in at the right time, and this is definitely going to be this is going to be an extremely one-sided bashing, I feel, for our blue Protoss, especially now that the entire army is down and SalmoN has left the game. So you know, we have the Colossus just sitting up here, and that was beautiful harassment. He basically forced his opponent to wait past the amount of time where he could really win, and then he just went in and, you know, it was fine. As soon as this mothership popped out, his opponent was essentially dead. I feel SalmoN should have pushed earlier and just left his probes to the Colossus, because honestly he had a fairly big wrecking ball of a force, and if he engaged before this mothership came out, he would have easily destroyed it. Destroyed this entire army, to be honest. So anyway, guys, this has been yet another game brought to you by Boisterous. You can check out any other games I have commentated over at youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2. If you want your games commentated, send them on into boisteroussc2@gmail.com. And if you have any comments, questions, ideas, gripes, anything like that, go ahead and post them in the Battle.net forum thread, which will be in the details for this video. Yeah, feel free to post anything you want there. I don't really discriminate against random crap that gets posted in there. So yeah, this is Boisterous, signing out.